Hey YouTubers, I've got this drill here. This is my second one of these I've bought. I was using some Bosch 10.8 volt gear, the small drills, for a number of years, and they've been pretty good. But I lost one of them, and one of them I left in the rain. So I've upgraded. It's definitely an upgrade to these Makita cordless drills. I normally use two because it's good to have one for drilling and one for screwing. So I've got two of these. I'm using them with these knockoff batteries, which I found on Amazon by a trader called Vanon. I've had a Vanon charger, which was quite good for my Bosch gear, although it got wet and broke in the end. So I went for one of these batteries. I've used this one on the Makita strimmer as well, and it's been pretty good. So it lasts for about an hour and a half on a low setting when using the strimmer, so that's pretty good. It's probably not 5 amp hours. There's a trend with cheap batteries that they always try and over report on the amp hours to make them seem better than they are, but it's probably 3 amp hour, which is the same as the official Makita battery pack. I don't own a proper Makita battery pack, so I couldn't really tell you much about that. So this drill model is the DHP482. It will take up to a 13mm masonry bit and a 13mm wood or metal bit, and just to prove that, we've got a 13mm drill bit here, which I'll have a go with in a minute. They've got a ash log here. This is in the UK we just call this ash, but I think in the US you might call this black ash. It's not mountain ash or any of the other varieties. So this has a brushed motor, and you can tell that because when you on off the trigger very fast, you can see a flash in there, and that's the brushes rubbing on the commutator, is it called, on the motor? I don't know. I think it's called a commutator. Anyway, so on the top you've got your selections. You can go for the drill mode, that's without the hammer. You got the screw mode, so that means that the clutch engages around the top here. If you're unfamiliar with a clutch, if you're putting in a small screw, such as this one here, you might put the clutch on a low setting, say 5 or something, and when the head of the screw reaches the wood, goes as far as it will go into the wood, the clutch will start to click, and it will stop you sort of stripping the thread. You won't strip a thread off the screw, you'll strip its purchase within the wood. So I'll just demonstrate that. So as you can see, that's still a little bit proud, but what we'll do now is we'll turn that up to, say, 13 for luck. Okay, still a bit more, I think. 17. You see? So 17 is just about right, because you end up with a screw which is flush, and the clutch, what do you call that? Torques out or something? I don't know. And that way you don't. I'm just looking for my screw a minute. There it is. So we'll try this with a big one now. We'll leave the clutch on the same setting and see what happens. This is down grain, so it's probably a bit easier than going cross grain. Yeah, so as you can see, that clutch has got in the way there. So we'll put the clutch on flat out, see what happens. Oh. So if the clutch is on its hardest setting, you can put it onto drill, and that will effectively remove the clutch function, and hopefully we'll get the screw all the way in. The only problem we'll have is the driver bit will, what they call, cam out of the screw. So you have to push down very hard on the drill to stop that happening from the top, and it probably will cam out anyway because oh no, we got away with it. You see? So there you go. So the upshot is, that's probably a bit hot, so I won't pick it up for a minute. Just leave it there. But the upshot is, you can put in, I think that's a 100mm screw, which is about 4 or 5 inches, just straight off of one of these on the high speed setting. It's a very torquey drill. Wow, ouch, that's pretty hot. Here we go. So we'll try and whiz this in all the way in. Okay, so I'm pushing down to stop the cam out. Ooh. There you go. It even went in bent. And I've got a 50mm here, which we'll just whiz in just for a demonstration. It even puts the head countersinks it as well. That's one of the best drills I've owned, and I paid £46 for it without the battery. So the battery is another 50 quid, 46 quid, 45 quid, something like that if you buy a proper Makita one. These ones are about £20. As I say, I've just got the strimmer, so I had to buy a double battery charger and 4 batteries, and that was a bit of a stretch, to be honest, if you buy all genuine Makita stuff. So as these fail, I will replace them with genuine batteries. And let's have a go with the drill. The chuck is really nice. It's got like a clicky action on it. If you can hear that, like locks into place nicely. So we'll try it with a drill bit, see how we get on. So this is a 13mm, that's the biggest that will fit in the chuck. You can see that's pretty snug around there, isn't it? I will click that up. It's a really nice feel, that chuck. And we'll see how we get on with this. This, bear in mind, this is a metal bit and we're drilling into wood, so it's not ideal. And of course, what you could do if you wanted to drill a bigger hole in this, bigger than 13mm, you could use a spade bit, which are the ones, they have a hexagonal section on the bottom, and then a round section shaft which goes up to a kind of spade shape on the top, and you can, they'll go pretty wide, yeah, so if you want to drill a bigger hole, you can use one of those, or a core bit, I suppose. Anyway, let's have a go with this, see how we get on. So there you go. That's pretty good going. Now there's definitely some heat coming out of the motor when I was doing that. You could feel it, and that's not surprising, being you're working it so hard. But it's definitely the best electric drill, cordless drill I've ever owned. The hammer drill, the hammer function, I was a bit, that was one slightly disappointing thing about it. because it's not very hammery. I was trying to drill. I suppose what I've done, I've got used to the SDS corded drill I have for doing masonry, holes in masonry work, and obviously that has a very powerful hammer function, and so you could drill a hole in a concrete block wall, say, in, I don't know, 5 seconds. With this you might be sort of 20 seconds or so drilling a 10mm masonry, a hole in masonry. The hammer action is a bit weedy, but I think perhaps that's just because I've become used to SDS for masonry work, which I've got a Bosch 240 volt SDS drill. This is for comparison, and it's the one with a selector on it, so you can just use it for chiseling if you want. So the actual hammer action in it is very strong. With this, it's a lot more subtle, but it does the job. I drilled some 10mm holes in some concrete blocks, dense concrete blocks, the other day for putting rawl plugs in. They were about 80mm deep, and then probably took about 25 to 30 seconds per hole to drill, and you have to push quite hard on the drill while you're doing it, which can be a bit awkward when you're up the ladder. But as I say, I think that's more if unless you're using a sort of hammer specific drill, then the hammer action is not going to be quite as good. So that's my thoughts on it. Now, of course, we've done all this on the high speed low torque setting, and there's the low speed high torque setting, which I mean, what you would use that for, I just don't know. I mean, you can drill a maximum depth with that. I suppose it might put less strain on the motor. One thing to mention as well, this light on here is really good. I mean, you can use it as a torch when you're walking around. I mean, last night I had to go down to the shed to get some stuff, couldn't find my torch, so I just used this. And the handy thing about it is if you just touch the trigger, it will stay on for about 10-20 seconds, which is pretty handy because you can put it down, do something with both hands, and then pick it back up again. Slowly goes off like that, so you know when it's going off and put it back on again. So that's quite a nice little feature. And you've got the belt hook here as well. Again, quite a good, if you're up a ladder doing something, you can hang it on your belt, which is pretty useful. So there you go. I got this from eBay. I forget the name of the seller. Came with a free tape measure, and it was £46. And it's an extremely good drill, and hopefully if I don't leave it out in the rain like the other one, it should survive for a good few years. Anyway, thanks for watching, and hope you found this useful. Cheerio.